Hello, greetings. Welcome back to my channel, and it's good to see you. And of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel, be kind enough to do so. But without further ado, let's jump straight into this video. In the beginning of the 1800s, the Imperial Europeans sought to expand their spheres through the acquisition of different resources. From the cryptic architecture of the Egyptian pyramids all the way to the beautiful landscapes of South Africa, Africa in itself has always been a beauty and a force to be reckoned with, its resources limitless and its cultures deep-rooted. So during this period, Africa became the main target of European exploitation. Many colonizers, masquerading as businessmen and missionaries, executed this expansion of their spheres through 3 C's: civilization, Christianity, and commerce. The use of the 3 C's was merely an exercise in futility, as Africa already practiced a form of commerce, a form of religion, and already had different kinds of civilization. In the case of commerce, on land or on the seas, trade was an integral part of the people of the land, dating back to pre-colonial times and even as far as medieval Europe. Commerce and trade gave birth to great civilizations such as the Kush, Aksum, Mali, and Great Zimbabwe. Before the 1500s, these civilizations flourished greatly due to their participation in international trading networks as well as transoceanic travel. And in the case of Christianity, Africa already had some form of conviction in the form of ancestors that they worshipped. These ancestors were not just metaphors, but actual living entities. So it begs the question, what then were they planning to teach us that we already did not inherently know? Zambia, being obviously African, was also no stranger to this kind of spiritual worship. The pre-Christian beliefs in Zambia were mainly influenced by the surroundings, the resources available, as well as the spiritual needs of the individual. Depending on the occasion, different kinds of ceremonies were performed. And just to mention a few, we have the Kuomboka ceremony, which celebrates the flooding of the waters. We have the special Vimbuza dance, which is performed as a dance of healing and self-reflection. We also have the Mukanda ceremony, which ushers young boys into puberty. These and many more ceremonies were our norms, were our cultures, and we performed them to give ourselves a sense of belonging to the group. Not only that, but it gave the individuals belonging to the group a strong conviction. But towards the beginning of the 1800s, we see colonial rule masquerading as commerce, Christianity, and civilization. This shift in power placed our people in a very vulnerable position. Our cultures and practices became diluted, calling us heathens and our practices witchcraft. A monk named Daniel Kumla Flickinger wrote the following words in the missionary memoirs. "The only reason why our theological views are not as foolish and corrupting as theirs, and that we are not believers in witchcraft, devil worship, and 1,000 other foolish things, is simply because the light of heaven shines upon us." He further articulates an argument used by Christian missionaries to justify the exploitative and coercive nature of these very tactics. And soon enough, our cultures were diluted and our people converted into a religion they knew nothing about. Our way of life and culture was simply just backward for them. Those that believed willingly and those that did not want to believe were forced to believe regardless for fear of being ostracized out of their society. What the Europeans believed to be a just and compassionate religion gave birth to many years of colonial rule and slavery. Arrogance and condescension were mainly the attitudes possessed by the Christian missionaries, feeling justified enough to call our beliefs primitive. They distorted our cultures and replaced it with a white man's religion. They called our ancestors demons that needed to be cast out. But Zona Bena Cristo, I gotta give it to you. With over 4,000 religions in this world, you managed to convince all of us that we were born out of incest. Which brings me to the bedrock of this video. Modern-day Christians in this country are no different. Their core beliefs are centered around oppressing those that do not believe in their religion. They are not tolerant of other beliefs and cultures, many of which will publicly harass you. Here's video footage of me actually being harassed by a Christian.
Record you, and I'm sending this to the police. Yeah. You are harassing me? I'm not
You're wasting my time. I told you to leave me alone.
I'm not.
I told you to leave me alone.
I'm saying
I said I don't want to hear any of your rubbish. You continued. So I'm having you arrested. This video is going to the police. I'm having you arrested for harassing me in public.
Wow. I believe we have a major case of Stockholm Syndrome in this country. We can never let go of what our captors taught us. We see many modern Zambian Christians clinging to the very beliefs that were used to oppress them. It disregards teachings that mainly have to do with the self and prioritizes emulating characters from the Bible so as to gain favor with God. The likes of Job, who only suffered because God and the devil were bored. The likes of Jonah, who just wanted to go on a cruise, people. And of course, Jesus Christ. If all men think the same, then no one is thinking at all. Doctrines such as Christianity teaches people to think more in a singular mindset, therefore keeping them in a subservient position and much easier to take over. It teaches non-tolerance and a lack of critical thinking because you cannot question the Bible, right? So what's the point of applying critical thinking? You develop a sense of superiority over others, believing your cause is more justified than others. I believe there's a direct link between how the colonial masters taught us this religion and how modern day Christians in this country treat those that do not believe in their religion. The exploitation of Zambia and Africa at large has far-reaching consequences than we care to admit. Most of our nations still remain economically dependent, and the only thing we hold on to are the very beliefs that they use to oppress us, to oppress our own. So now, our cultures and beliefs are only left in the names that we pass down from generation to generation, like hand-me-downs, slowly losing their value. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And be sure to also subscribe so you do not miss out on any of the new videos I will be posting right here on this platform. Otherwise, from me, the loneliest sweet potato, peace.